Hello and welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. I took a second to take some notes because it'd been a long time since I actually counted the goats in our goat herd. And there's actually a lot more than I thought there were. Good morning. Hello. So we just wrapped up our third ever kidding season on our farm, and I think it was probably the most successful kidding season that we've had. There's many different reasons for that. There's many different versions of success. I like to spread out our kidding seasons to be over several months, mostly because it's a lot on me to have 13, 14 does deliver all at once. I don't really have the barn space for that. I don't have the kidding space for that. But also the main reason that we keep goats on our farm is dairy, and spreading out the kidding season means that we have different does coming into fresh milk at different times of the year, so we are never without milk here. We never have a dry spell. So this past kidding season actually started in September and we just now finished in May. So that was a very long kidding season, but as I mentioned, it was a very successful one. All told, we had 28 kids born here and I did retain 10. So I have a little bit of a kidding recap video that I want to do here for you, and then we'll come back here and talk about all those retentions. I think they all have blue eyes. Holy cow. Oh, big stretch. Look at how big this chunker is. Good morning. He has blue eyes. Oh crap. Good girl, Mayhem. Pretty and pretty loud. Hi, Chuck. Oh, you're gorgeous. And Havoc strikes again with the spots. I know. Really obvious. You're still beautiful. Good job. Good. Hi, baby. She looks cute like that, though. Good girl. You're handsome. Look at you. Alright? Overload. You don't say. Is she precious? Good girl, barely. Look at all those little cold heads. Oh my goodness, can we look at you? Ah! There we go. I can tell already it's another doe. We're gonna go fast. There we go. We have 2 chocolates. Are you being too much over there? We got a doe with waddles, you guys. There you are. So I had some some people ask questions about the stats for our bucks. Since at least one of them seems to be really good at throwing does, our buck Havoc is very good at throwing does, and I actually got the numbers. So this year we used 3 bucks, 3 of our bucks for our breeding purposes here on our farm. We used a La Mancha buck, Hamish. This was our first year using him. He had 3 babies. They were all boys, and they're all in our meat goat program. And we also used Odie for the first time this year. He is a purebred Nigerian dwarf. He had 4 babies. 3 of them were boys and 1 girl. And then, drum roll please, we used Havoc on our farm, and we also used him to stud out some goats on another farm. And in total, he had 21 babies this past season. 6 of them were boys and 15 were does. This is our 2nd year using Havoc, and I can guarantee that we're going to be using him much, much more. And in saying that, we do have our retentions that we've had this year. We've had a lot of retentions. I actually have 33 goats on the farm right now, which is a lot. But that does include our meat goat program, and it does include some goats that I am going to cull by the end of the year. I've got my cull list going, and I'm not quite ready to share that with you yet, but some of the names on that list have surprised me, and they may surprise you too, but that'll be much later in the year when we talk about that. At some point, sometime soon, I am going to do like a lineage breakdown so you guys can understand how exactly our family tree works in our goat herd. But for now, I'm just going to show you the does and the buck that we kept from our kidding season this year. We are keeping Little Miss Holly, Tallulah, Breezy, Fury, Shindy, Tizzy, Tori, Stormy, and Sunny. I have Tori on that list, and Tori was actually bought in. She wasn't born here on that farm, so I guess I retained 8 does and not 9. Still a lot. And the one little buckling that we retained, his name is Hullabaloo, and he is so gorgeous. He's a mini La Mancha, and that's really our main focus for the next little while, is making some really great sturdy mini La Mancha goats that give a lot of milk, put a lot of milk in the pail, but also have a really good parasite or worm resistance. Our kidding season is so long that I actually failed to remember that I retained a buck from the kiddings this fall. I retained little Titus here out of Pesky and Havoc, and I've actually already gotten a chance to use him with a couple of does. So we'll see our first Titus babies on the ground in about 5 months, which is kind of crazy. They grow up fast. Tori! Come here, man. Tori. They grow up fast, huh? Do you want a bottle? So obviously I've still got Miss Tori here on a bottle. She's only about 6 weeks old, and so I want to keep her on a bottle for at least another couple weeks. Ideally, I'll keep her on a bottle until she's around 12 weeks old. That's going to give her the best opportunity to get nice and big so that I can hopefully breed her this fall. Hi, Calamity. Don't worry, it's always the Calamity show. It is. So you'll notice that I have 2 bottles here. Tori is in no way eating both of these bottles. But unfortunately, I am having to supplement some of the babies that were recently born here. Elpis's triplets have been looking kind of skinny to me. And I know that Nigerian dwarf goats look kind of stocky, and the La Manchas look a little bit more sleek and slender. These goats are mini La Manchas, so they're a combination of both. And really, they could get traits from either parent. They can kind of look like one or the other, but they look a little too skinny to me. So I recently started supplementing them, and it didn't take them long to adjust well to the bottle. Usually when babies are hungry, it doesn't take much for them to learn. Good girl. You notice she's got a little bit of bleeding going on her head. Her little horn caps from her disbudding are starting to fall off. Sit still. Ooh. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of this blue coat on her, and it's just going to help keep it clean because she's been roughhousing with the other babies. This here is Fury. She was recently disbudded as well, but her head isn't weeping too bad. Need for a bottle? Now these babies are still on Elpis full time, but it just seems that they're constantly at her udder, and she lets them nurse, but really not much comes out. And it's kind of surprising given how big her udder looks. Her udder has always looked really big, and when she gave birth, it looked a lot smaller. It looked like the babies really had gotten a lot out of it. But for some reason, it's like it's not keeping up. despite looking really big. And I have suspicions that she may have a little bit of udder edema, and from what I've read, the edema can be a little bit painful, and so I'm kind of wondering if the pain of that is really not helping her keep up a good milk supply. So we've been supplementing, but thank goodness we have all kinds of milk. Good girl. So yummy. That's Sunny, I think. Sunny wants a bottle, but Sunny is one of Bearly's triplets. Bearly has been producing plenty for her triplets, but Sunny's still needy. Oh, it's not Sunny. Come here. It's Shindy. Come here, Shindy. This was our little loud mouth, Shindy. Shindy's hungry. You want some? Now, Shindy doesn't take the bottle as well as the other two, but she does take it. So it works out well that I'm already coming down to the barn 3 times a day to feed Tori, and I just need to bring an extra bottle to make sure that these little girls get a full belly. They're not taking as much as they would if they were on a bottle full time, so they are still getting something out of Mama. Good girl. Shindy is polled, so she did not need any disbudding. Little Miss Tizzy here. She is a glutton for the bottle. Come here. She's definitely taking the most, that's for sure. And she has been looking the thinnest out of all of them. She's always looked the smallest from birth. She's probably gonna make up for it. So you can overfeed a bottle baby goat. So a good rule of thumb when you're feeding a bottle baby is to feed them until they come off once. Give them a little bit of time to kind of run around and let their belly settle, and then pick them up again, see if they want more milk, and then stop after they come off a second time. Okay, yeah, hang on. It's over here. Come here, sir. Mama's over here. Let's go get her. Come on. Come on. She's over here. She's over here. Hullabaloo. Come here. Nope. Sunny. Come here, Sunny. Sunny, you want this? No, Calamity. No, Calamity. Nope. You are last year's bottle baby. This is not yours. Tori's a little bit jealous to be sharing some of her milk with the other babies, but I don't think she minds too much. At first, when I started bottle feeding the other babies, Tori was so jealous, but I think she's getting used to it. Maybe. She's awfully needy. She's basically the Calamity of this year.